Good day, everyone. This is Meredith Leon-McCormack. As many of you know, I am the editorial director for World Bride Magazine, an international multicultural bridal publication. We're going into 21 years and rolling. And I have the honor of contacting a dear friend of mine for many, many years before the magazine even came. She used to be a contributing editor to World Bride Magazine. And she is a she is a cancer survivor, and that's how we met. And she has thrived and is living a healthier life, formerly of Brooklyn, but now she's living her wonderful life in Atlanta. And she is the proud parent of amazing sons, and one of which is a doctor who is helping us manage this crisis, the COVID-19. So I am going to introduce you all to my friend, Dr. Michelle Morancie. So stay tuned, guys. Hi, Dr. Michelle.
Hi, Meredith. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Can you give us a little brief background of who you are so that people can know your field of medicine? Well, not medicine, a psychology that you're in.
Sure. I am a licensed psychologist, which means I see people for therapy. I used to work in the New York City public schools for 28 years, actually.
Wow.
And I moved to Atlanta in 2014 and have been enjoying not dealing with the stress of New York. And I'm here, I have a private practice here part-time. So I've been dealing with some of the effects of COVID-19 for the last week. It's been a little crazy.
I can imagine. So
Go ahead.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the emotional and mental impact this crisis has been manifesting with your personal experiences?
Sure. There's several issues that have come up. The first one is news and social media. Everybody is being bombarded with facts and fiction about this virus. This 24-hour news cycle that we have can be very overwhelming. And it raises a lot of anxiety in people. I've heard people say they have trouble turning it off, but that seems to raise their anxiety. Second issue that I've noticed is dealing with quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are social beings.
Yes.
We need to be around other people. So when those interactions are limited, it can cause a host of emotional unsettledness, and that leads to more stress and anxiety. Since I have a few patients who have children, the other issue is school's out indefinitely. And parents are at home all day, 24/7 with their children.
Watching their own kids, God forbid.
And it can be extremely overwhelming because not only are they being parents, but now they're also being teachers.
Right.
Because they have to make sure the kids are doing whatever assignments come through.
Right.
And, people might say, oh, in the summer, kids are home, it shouldn't be a problem. It's not the same thing because there are activities planned in the summer and you go on vacation. Now we're stuck in the house with these kids and trying to entertain them.
Right.
And it's very difficult and it causes a lot of anxiety
for the adults now.
For the adults.
Right.
The kids can be running around, but the adults are having trouble with it. And what surprised me was the issue with working from home if you're not used to work from home.
Right.
The thing is that at work, you can take a break. You can walk away and talk to a coworker. You can have lunch with somebody. But working at home, what people have told me is that it is constant. They're constantly on video calls and answering emails and going all day long, pretty much without a break. And that can be overwhelming too. Those are the things that I noticed.
Yeah, I can only imagine what people are going through, because having children when they're younger, you expect, you know, 2 years old, 4 years old, they'll take a nap at some point, or whatever. Now you have, whatever the ages are, young adults, teenagers that are home. Isn't it important for the parents to try to maintain the normality of the children, finding something to do and reading a book, doing their classwork, maintaining a routine so that they're not taken out of that basic, routine that they were already in? Speak on that, please.
What I've told parents is to act like they are in school. In school, kids have a schedule.
Right.
The time they get in to when they get out. And if the parents are able to follow that schedule, it keeps the routine for the kids, and routine is really important.
Absolutely.
Especially the school age, like kindergarten to 5th or 6th grade, they need that routine.
So this is really not the time for you to let them watch TV all day, be on the video games and all that other stuff that they wouldn't be doing during this time of the day, Monday through Friday anyway. So it's up to the parents now to make it their point to make sure that they're doing the work, the classwork that was submitted to them.
Absolutely. But what's happening, I'm in Georgia, and what has been happening is the internet is overwhelmed because everybody's going online to work, to do schoolwork.
Right.
I'm seeing clients online.
Right.
And it's overwhelming the internet. So sometimes the kids aren't getting the work. But I've told parents to look online at homeschool sites and get activities from those sites and meet with other parents virtually.
Right.
And say, well, what are you doing? Parents of the kids who are in their kids' class.
Right.
And that can take some of the pressure off. But they should not be just playing video games every day.
Yeah.
It's not good for them. It's not good for the parents. Yeah.
I can just imagine. So now, dealing with the crisis of the media and social media, people are inundated, as you mentioned, with information. How can people decipher and manage all the information that they're getting and the sources in which that they're getting it from?
I have told people to limit how much news they check. Some people have, the news is constantly ticking on their phones, and that's overwhelming. So I say you check it once in the morning, check it once in the afternoon. That's all you need. I believe that anything that you really need to know, you're going to find out about eventually.
Right.
If looking at it right then, you'll find out, because people will talk and say this. So you don't need to be online all the time. And make use of some of the fun stuff. Like the other day, I watched John Legend's concert.
Nice. So the art.
Which was great. and I felt happier afterwards. So a lot of celebrities are doing things like that. There are a lot of activities for the children. You can manage it that way, because if you just stick to the news and what people are putting on to make you more frantic, it's not helpful. And now I'm hearing there's all kinds of scams and hoaxes and all that kind of stuff that people are putting on. So if you're going to listen to something, listen to doctors, because this is a medical issue.
Right.
And kind of stay away from the politics of the day. And online also there's a lot of information on what this actually is,
right,
so that you realize that it's not something to be afraid of.
Right.
You just need to know the facts, and what we're trying to avoid is overwhelming hospitals.
There you go. So can you speak a little bit more about that? Why is it so important that we quarantine ourselves and limit the use of the emergency rooms? We just had this conversation with Dr. Sampson. Limit how do we do that? How do we protect, and why is it so important that we do that?
What I understand is that there's limited amount of ventilators. We're trying not to overwhelm the emergency rooms. And we need those for people who are really sick.
Right.
And since it's a virus, if you have mild symptoms, it'll run its course and you can be at home. It's when people have trouble breathing that they need to go to the emergency room.
Right.
So if that space is taken up by people who have milder symptoms, then the people who really need it aren't going to be able to get it.
Now, what recommendation would you suggest for your practice? Shouldn't doctors also be seeing someone like you just to get through this process? Because I can't even imagine what they're seeing, the anxiety they're feeling, because Dr. Sampson was mentioning that he literally comes home, he strips from outside, it's like taking off everything from outside. He puts his scrubs and everything in the washing machine immediately. He keeps 6 feet from his own family members and sends his children away. That has to be having an impact on him as a human being.
Well, absolutely. The first line people are the ones who have to deal with a lot of emotional and mental health issues. And what I found, if we go back to 9/11 and in New York, and there was so much anxiety in New York, what I found was you have to have another person to talk to. And what the doctors need to do is kind of debrief with each other, get together online or something, talk about their day so they can just get all of that anxiety out.
Right.
And if they need to, if they're having trouble sleeping, if they're feeling extra anxious, to reach out to a mental health worker and talk to them for a few sessions. And like me, I'm doing sessions online. So that's probably how they would reach out to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So for us regular people, how do we find a doctor like yourself who can help us get through this process? Who are some of the people that we can to release some of this pressure onto?
You can reach out online if you go onto Psychology Today. You go onto your insurance website and say that you need either a psychologist, a counselor, a clinical social worker. They'll come up with names and you can reach out to them.
And how important is that?
That's very important, especially when you are one of those frontline first responder type people, because you're dealing with a lot going on very quickly, and you need time to debrief, you need time to talk about what you're going through and what your own fears and anxieties are.
So for us as a bridal publication, our readers are people that are planning their weddings, their lives, and their marriages. So myself and some of my editors, our big concern was we feel really weird posting out articles about high fashion and luxurious places to go to right now. We feel like it's just a little bit inappropriate. Although these industries are in need of staying alive because the economy cannot crash, or else it will have another impact on our world. So what we chose to do was interview people like you and Dr. Sampson to help us cope through with some of the decisions that we have to make. And for some people, and I already got a couple of phone calls of real brides that were planning their weddings during this time period between a couple of weeks ago and all the way up until June, and even as far as September, that are literally having anxiety about trying to decide whether or not they should cancel their wedding. Should they keep putting a deposit on it? There's so much uncertainties about making these life decisions. I'm not qualified to tell anyone from a doctor's perspective what to do, but the only thing we try to do is to encourage our readers to focus on the more important things, meaning family, your time. What does a wedding marriage really mean to you? And it's okay to postpone it. What advice do you have for our couples that are planning weddings, how to deal with the fact that they may have to delay their wedding? You know, what advice can you give? Or any event, it doesn't even have to be their wedding, but, you know, how can they deal with that?
They can think about if it's something they can do virtually, where it's just them and a minister or justice of the peace or whoever. Excellent. And invite their guests to participate
virtually,
if that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. We always thought, I mean, in the past, there have been couples that have had destination weddings and everybody was unable to go, so everybody, you know, had their cell phone and things could happen virtually. So I still think if they must get married on that exact date and they're not willing to postpone it, a virtual wedding might just be an option, you know? So, yeah, so they can technically have a virtual wedding, as you would say. So continue.
And they can also postpone it. It really is okay. You know? And everybody will understand if it gets postponed. But if they feel like they absolutely have to do it, they can do that virtual thing, you know? And find out from the venues what they're willing to do about deposits and whatnot, because that businesses are being very flexible because they want to keep your business and they are losing money, so they're very, very flexible.
We agree with you on that. So is there any other messages that you want to encourage our viewers, our readers, about mental health and the importance of maintaining a positive attitude and the intake of information? You know, any last words?
Yeah, I want people to think about taking time for themselves, especially those parents who have those kids in the house, that if you have them on a schedule, you can schedule in quiet time so that you can take a few moments for yourself. And also, like, mindfulness, teaching everybody about taking 5 minutes just to breathe slowly to lower your anxiety level. And look up, you know, like I talked about, looking up those concerts and fun activities. The zoos have virtual tours.
Nice.
Online, and playtime is important for the kids. Playtime is important for the parents and adults. Get out. You can go out and take a walk.
Yes.
You know, by yourself.
Yep.
Or with one other person.
Yep.
That's okay.
Right.
And it's free. So
exactly.
So like here in Atlanta, it's like almost 80 degrees. So you can go outside and just walk. If you have a pet, you can go walk the dog and just get some fresh air and take a moment to be calm. If you find that you're having trouble sleeping, do those breathing exercises before you go to bed. Drink some chamomile tea. Turn off the television.
Yeah. Don't sleep with it on.
Don't sleep with the phone next to your ear. Turn that off. Turn off all news an hour before you want to go to bed. And just let yourself come down and give yourself the opportunity to do things that you enjoy, things that bring you joy. You know, if you like music, put music on.
I really enjoy the fact that you did say that to find the arts and things to do in the arts. In New York City, the Metropolitan Opera has offered patrons and just anybody that has access to the internet the ability to see the operas that has been taped. So I actually saw Carmen, and I'm seeing.
Wow.
Yeah. So last night I was just too tired. I couldn't finish it. La Traviata is on, so I have to finish that. And I have a client who was scheduled to perform at Carnegie Hall, Kelly Hall Tompkins, a solo violinist, and she is getting ready. She taped some videos. Well, she did some videos where she provided music to words of people that live in the homeless shelter. Music Kitchen provides classical music with Pulitzer Prize composers and performers, and they go to these homeless shelters to perform. And she now has given access and encouraged people to listen to her music, and we try to promote it. Classical music is one of those things that takes you from all emotions, but yet at the end of it, you feel this calmness about you. So the arts, as much as we may not think it's effective in our society or needed in our society, in the time of crisis, I find that it's the one thing that is keeping us at peace currently, you know?
I have always been a supporter of the arts. I believe it uses a different part of your brain, and that is calming. And the one thing I didn't want to miss is to do something for somebody else.
Wow.
Like the performers are performing for everybody.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are alone. Make them a card. Let the kids draw things.
So tell us about the assisted living.
Yeah, the assisted living facilities and nursing homes, guests can't go in to visit.
No, they can't.
And that just makes me very sad.
Absolutely.
So if people can make cards and drop them off at the door, or have, I've seen where children go and they sing and they stand outside,
right,
so the elderly can see them. I think that's so important.
Yeah, it's so amazing that you even said that, because CBS reported that this young lady got engaged and went to her grandfather's nursing facility and stood outside the window and showed her grandfather that she had been engaged.
Yeah.
So he's still a part of the community, even when they can't touch each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important that we checked on our elderly just for their own sanity and for our own, because we don't want to worry about our loved ones as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I think even though this is a very stressful, anxiety-producing time, that we have the opportunity to be better and to help each other, look out for each other, connect more, because now, people are used to connecting with text, and now people are at least doing videos, and so you can see another person, and you're actually using spoken words to talk to another person.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and you can see their expressions,
right,
and whatnot, which we have gotten so far away from, and that could be said to be a positive.
I agree with you 100%. I think as tragic as this disease is, it is bringing down our humanity, showing up our humanity, and it's showing us how connected we really are. if this disease could spread this quickly, can you imagine if we were this kind to one another, how much that could have spread? You know, so I'm grateful for your comments. So I want to tell you, thank you so much for your time. And can you please, if you have do you have a website that you could share that people can get to know you a little bit more and anything that might be going on?
I have a website. I don't know. I had one. I don't know if it's up. But I have a Facebook page, Dr. Morancie, on Facebook. And so I'll put this up.
Perfect.
On my Facebook page.
And we will do the same.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure. We're just looking for creative ways to engage our readers and our viewers, just to make people feel like they're not alone in dealing with this issue. And we wanted to invite professionals that are dealing with this and have been dealing with this and other crises, and let people know that this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And you know, and me, I'm a avid believer in a higher being, in God, and so I always encourage people just to pray, sit down for a minute, pray, meditate, you know, read, you know, you read your Bible or whatever spiritual book that you have, and just, you know, calm your spirit. You know, it's easier said than done about the anxiety, but I just really feel that it's important that we show our humanity now more than ever. It's very important. So,
and I wanted to say to you that it may seem inappropriate or frivolous to talk about fashion and weddings and all that stuff, but we need that.
Oh, thank you.
Out of your head. And if you like looking at wedding gowns like I do, watching, you know, going through a magazine with gowns and watching programs about weddings and things like that, it takes you out of this place for a moment. So it's really okay.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and please be safe, you and your family and your loved ones.
You too, man.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, Dr. Morancie.